Today is our 30th anniversary, and we're very excited. We've been around obviously a long time, but we needed to celebrate the collaboration, all of our partners that work with us, and that we're housing thousands of people every year.
Homeless Services Network is really the behind-the-scenes agency. Everybody knows the great work of the Coalition and the Christian Service Center and Family Promise and the Rescue Mission, all these amazing organizations. But we really do the work of collaborating with state, federal, and local jurisdictions to try to find efficient and effective ways to utilize public dollars in a way that's going to actually end homelessness.
And we really want to get the message out to folks about homelessness. I mean, we all see it, we all experience it in our daily lives as we're driving around. We're really at a point now where we just want to get the message out to more people and how they can help and be involved.
It's still hard for me to wrap my mind around the fact that just a year ago from today, I was homeless.
This is a fundraiser, and the funds will go to kind of filling the gaps between the federal, state, and local funds that we receive and we pass through to agencies that are working with people experiencing homelessness. But more importantly, Greg Colburn, who's written a book called Homelessness as a Housing Program from the University of Washington, is here to talk to us in Central Florida about how the affordable housing crisis is really pressuring and moving people into homelessness in our community.
And the purpose of the book is to explain regional variation in rates of homelessness. In other words, explaining why our coastal cities like Seattle and San Francisco and New York have so much higher rates of homelessness than Chicago. And the reason we ask that question is if we can explain that, it should tell us something fundamental about the nature of the crisis of homelessness. And the conclusion we reach is that places with really high rents and low vacancies where housing's not available have much, much higher rates of homelessness, 5 times the homelessness. And so for the lesson for a community like Orlando is you got to pay attention to your housing stock, because if rents continue to go up, vacancies go down, people who are vulnerable lose out in that circumstance, and you could see rates of homelessness continuing to go up. And that's my hope is for communities like Orlando that are on the front end of this, you're nowhere near the coast yet, that you can keep ahead of that curve without it becoming a crisis.
In order to solve issues related to housing affordability and homelessness, it takes a partnership between the public sector, the private sector, and the philanthropic sectors. We all have to come together mutually to look for long-term solutions. That's the beauty of what we have as a community. We are a community that has great relationships between those 3 various sectors to close the gap of homelessness within our community.
Homelessness can impact almost anyone. In recent years, we see an increase primarily in the very young children, as well as in seniors. We're seeing more seniors who are getting priced out of housing and finding themselves homeless for the first time in their lives. We also have a large a young adult population, kind of the 18 to 24-year-olds. So yeah, it hits all ages.
In every community that I go to, that people walk away with an understanding of the structural drivers of this crisis, which is a lack of affordable housing. And if we can understand that that is the fundamental issue, then people who have money, power, authority to make changes can hopefully focus their time and attention in that area, as opposed to thinking about all the other issues associated with homelessness that tend to get almost more attention than the lack of housing in one's community.
They can just look up Homeless Services Network of Central Florida, and there's plenty of ways to contribute, whether it's your time, your money, your influence, learning more about the issues, because being an informed citizenry really is the basis of what makes our community go.